This was a pretty cool and totally unexpected connection. I was able to connect 6 holders of a Guinness Book of World Record to Justin Scard of Randomland, who I've done a video about before, because it turns out that his family is actually Finazzo, and they immigrated from Terrasini, Sicily. So it really caught my attention when somebody on my Carini Facebook page, Descendants of Carini, Sicilia, somebody asked, they're looking for information on the Finazzo brothers. Their sister was Anna, brother-in-law Salvador, trying to confirm if Carini was their hometown. So, of course, I did the video, and I'm very familiar with Terrasini because of that video. Wasn't able to connect Justin's family to mine. It looked like there was, but it turned out that Cusimano, his great-grandmother's family, Cusimano, and I have a Cusimano, 2 times great-grandmother is Caterina Cusimano, who my grandmother is named for, Caterina Gargaiano. That didn't pan out. A lot of times, you got to be careful. The hints on Ancestry.com, not always too good. You always got to verify that stuff. So I got this, and so the first thought I had was, they're probably not, it could be from Carini, but more likely it's going to be Terrasini. That's what I wrote there. So I asked for a little bit more information. They posted this picture, and it's the 6 fighting Finazzo brothers, so a bit more context. And it turns out these were some very, in the day, of course, they won they were in the Guinness Book of World Record because all 6 of them appeared as professional boxers on the same card. So there's actually they immigrated to Baltimore, and it was interesting to get this. He and his 6 brothers knew what to do with gloves on their hands. Boxing will never see the likes of the Finazzos again, nor the likes of August 15th, 1938. Trying to get that highlighted there. When 6 Finazzo brothers, Joe, Vic, Sam, Jackie, Eddie, and Johnny, then only 14 years old, made up the entire card of the old Collins Park, and that's how they got into the Guinness Book of World Records. All 6 were professional boxers. Yeah, I would definitely say this is a child here. You remember the posing boxers used to say about the Finazzo brothers, you got to kill a Finazzo to beat them. So they see, were some very tough guys. And so it turns out through some research, and I found a picture of of their father, Salvador Finazzo, and I was able to get his baptism record. So I'll blow this up, January of 1884, and it turns out it's not Carini. It's actually, so you can see here, it's Terrasini. So I was right. It was Terrasini, the 6 Finazzo brothers, the fighting Finazzos that you had to kill before you could beat them in the ring. And look at this guy here. This guy's a bruiser. I mean, my gosh, Joe is definitely a bruiser. They all from Terrasini. And I was able to get a bunch of newspaper articles regarding the fighting Finazzos. And I was able to find the marriage record for Salvador's parents, which were Salvador and Antonina Sanfilippo. This is the September 1879 Terrasini marriage record. They were very prolific. I mean, these guys were fairly well known back in the day. So there were a lot of these newspaper articles in the 30s and 40s. So these are some more pictures of them. And Samuel, Joseph, Anthony, Jack, Victor Emmanuel. Why were Sicilians naming a kid Victor Emmanuel? I mean, I don't get it. And then Ed, this is the real bruiser look. I mean, look at this guy. This guy, you don't want to mess with this guy. And then that little boy from the picture. And they all seem to have passed away, unfortunately, fairly young. Not so much Victor here, but most of them there, they were passing away fairly young. 1958, good Lord. So I was able to get some pictures of the parents as younger. So I was able to start filling in the family. So Salvador, his father is Vito Finazzo, and his mother is Mariana Rubino. And I thought I had something here because we're still trying to connect it with Carini, Rose Jacopelli. And that's a fairly common, but she's not. She's from Genesi, which is also right next to Terrasini, like Carini. So I followed up to this, and I recognized these 2 names. Then it hit me. We come over here. So I get to so here, Salvador Finazzo is actually the great-grandfather of the fighting Finazzo brothers. We look at Salvador's brother Antonino and Rosalia Aiello. We'll keep an eye on it, remember the Aiello. All right, so if we follow down Antonino's line, we get Biagio Finazzo and his wife Serafina Leto. And this is where it's going to get really, really interesting. This is a great thing this is a really cool thing to find. We get down here, boom. Filippo Finazzo and Marianina Bono, whose son is Justin Scard's great-grandfather. So if we go back, there you go. Right there, that's the part in the video. That Joseph and Rose is this Joseph and Rose. So the fighting Finazzo brothers are very closely related to Justin Scard's Finazzo family. Justin Scard, of course, of Randomland. Now, Joseph Finazzo, his parents, they had immigrated to St. Louis, whereas the fighting Finazzo brothers, their family had immigrated to Baltimore. So I thought that was really cool, but I couldn't stop there. Because if we look at, now, Rosa Cusimano and Giuseppe, I've mentioned this before, Justin Scard's great-grandparents are cousins. I think they're first cousins. And that is because Rosa Cusimano's mother is Caterina Finazzo. But we're going to follow the Cusimano line. This is where I was really surprised. So if we go here, we follow this up. You see, we got the Aiello. I said, pay attention to the Aiello. We look at this, we get to Alessandro Giacomo Santo Aiello. And where is he from? He was born in 1752 on Halloween in Carini.
I knew it!
So the fighting Finazzo brothers are closely related to Justin Scard of Randomland. And I have now been able to show a distant relation and a Carini connection to Justin Scard. So I have a lot more to fill in. So there may be a closer connection eventually. Where it's really close is with Alessandro's son, Rosario. Okay, so Antonia's brother, because he married a Maria Randazzo. And Maria Randazzo is very closely related to me. So that particular Aiello line through Terrasini is very closely related to Mia Familia, my Randazzo family, which was really cool to actually find. So, Alessandro is the common. Yeah, we go back to 1752. So that is the common relative between Justin Scard of Randomland and Mia Familia, which was really cool to find. So that's going to do it for this video. I never expected to find that the fighting Finazzos and have wow, Guinness Book of World Record holders there, which was really cool. But then to be able to connect them so close to Justin Scard of Randomland, really, really cool. And I was able to finally make the connection to Justin's family through his Rosa Cusimano's line. I was able to make the connection with Carini and a distant relation to me. It's kind of distant, I know, but it is a connection, and I'll keep adding to it and see if I can get a closer connection, which would be really, really cool. So that was really unexpected, really cool. So thanks for watching, and you know what to do now.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.